how I took my little brother's bully to court, and what happened next. I never considered myself a vengeful person, but when it came to my little brother, I had no choice. It all started when he began coming home from school looking different, withdrawn, quiet, avoiding eye contact. He used to tell me everything, how he did on a test, who he played basketball with, what memes he saw online. But now, silence. I could see the fear in his eyes, his lips pressed tight, his shoulders slumped. Whenever I asked what was wrong, he either brushed it off or mumbled, "It's nothing." But it wasn't nothing. One day, I walked into his room and saw him looking at himself in the mirror, a bruise under his eye. At first, I thought he'd fallen, but then I noticed scratches on his arms and strange marks on his neck, like someone had tried to choke him. "Who did this?" I asked. "No one," he muttered. I didn't push him, but I started paying attention. It turned out that there was an older kid at his school, Jacob. He and his friends would wait for my brother in the hallways, steal his lunch and pocket money, break his things, and sometimes beat him up just for fun. The teachers? Either they didn't notice, or they preferred to stay out of it. I knew that simply confronting Jacob wouldn't work. Calling his parents? Not an option. They just deny everything, and it would only make things worse for my brother. I needed something solid, something that would take Jacob down for good. So, I started gathering evidence. First, I hid a small camera inside my brother's backpack. For 2 days, he carried it around, and I got some interesting footage. One video showed Jacob shoving him into a locker. Another captured him demanding money, saying, "You'll regret it if you don't." But that wasn't enough. I found out Jacob's schedule, waited near the school, and filmed from a distance. Within days, I had footage of him extorting money and food from 2 other younger kids. And I didn't stop there. I created a fake social media account, pretending to be a new girl at school, and started messaging him. Over time, he got comfortable, and eventually he bragged about how he puts little kids in their place, how teachers are too scared to do anything, and how nothing will ever happen to him. Now I had a folder filled with photos, videos, screenshots, and witnesses. I went to the principal. At first, she tried to brush me off, but when I told her I had video proof of Jacob beating kids up, extorting money, and admitting to it in messages, her attitude changed. They called in Jacob's parents. Of course, they started with, "He would never," and "This is a misunderstanding." But when I showed them the evidence, their faces went pale. But I didn't stop there. I filed a police report. Jacob was called in for questioning, and soon, more kids spoke up. The school distanced itself from him. His parents tried to pay their way out of it, but the evidence was too strong. Then came the trial. Depending on the state, minors face different consequences for crimes like this. But with solid proof of physical assault, extortion, and threats, Jacob was found guilty on multiple charges. Because he was 17 and there were multiple victims, the court sentenced him to 2 years in a juvenile detention center. He could have gotten more, but his family's lawyers managed to get him the minimum sentence. My brother slowly recovered from the experience. He transferred to another school, got into sports, and became more confident. And I learned that justice does exist. You just have to know how to fight for it.